Now, looking to the State Department's breakdown for the visa bulletin, there's been a lot of interesting things that have happened. So obviously, in the family-based preference category, the F2A has created a current system. So there's still a backlog in the date of filing, but the final action date is current. So it's kind of weird how that processing is going to happen, because usually the final action date is behind. But USCIS has said on its website that they're accepting the final action date specifically for F2A, spouses and children, minor children of lawful permanent residents, even though in general they're accepting the date of filing for other adjustment of status stuff. But if you look at the visa bulletin for employment-based categories, huge backlogs came around. So EB1 has just gone pushed back to 2016, which is horrible. There's retrogression and things being backed up for EB5 in India and Vietnam. It's just getting worse and worse. And right now we have this regulation that got passed in Congress about country limits, removing them. There's a lot of people that are really excited about that because there's a huge backlog for Chinese and Indian people, and that is harsh and unfair. But the reality is, if they remove these limits but don't increase visa issuance or count visas differently, as such as like just having the head count of the principal being used instead of the whole family, essentially employment-based categories is going to be a Chinese and Indian-based visa completely, and it's going to shut out the entire world from coming here. So that's going to affect our practices drastically if you're doing employment-based practice, because there's immediately going to be a multi-year backlog, which makes filing for employment-based kind of ridiculous for a lot of cases. As well as if you don't have an in on these particular categories or particular countries in China or India, all of a sudden your case backlog is going to, your EB case is going to disappear, because from everywhere in the world, from high population countries in Brazil, Russia, Iran, Europe, these employment base is just not going to happen. So it's a really messy situation. It's not very well thought out how they're dealing with it, but that's a problem.